Okay, just 1 minute. It says it's still setting up. Where did it go? Okay, so we are live on Facebook now. I'm just going to go over to our page and pull up our post. That way I can answer everyone's comments. Just 1 moment. Great. Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We're here to talk about charter school funds and how they work for Outschool classes. So I'm Julie and I work as Outschool's community manager. I'm happy to bring a series of webinars for parents and teachers all about Outschool. And I want to introduce our panelists, two of my colleagues, one, Marina, who's here with me in San Francisco. Marina, do you want to give yourself a brief introduction?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is Marina. I am a member of Outschool's support team here. So if you write into support, you may be talking to me.
Great. And I'm also joined by Laura over in North Dakota. Laura, do you want to give yourself an introduction as well?
Sure. Hi, I'm Laura. She said I'm in North Dakota, but I work for Outschool and I also teach on Outschool. And both Marina and I do a lot of the work with charter schools and purchase orders.
Great. And yeah, we're really excited to give a little bit more specifics about how these funds work for those of you who haven't used them before. So maybe let's kick things off. One of the main questions we get is, how do you know if Outschool is a vendor for your school? And what does it mean for Outschool to be a vendor for your charter school?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So certain charter schools have us as an approved vendor, which means that you can actually use funds from your charter school to pay for Outschool classes as part of your learner's education. So if you'd like to know if Outschool is a vendor for your charter school, your ES or EF is a great resource. You can also always reach out to our support team. We have a list of schools with which we're a vendor, and we're happy to reach out to you and let you know if your school is one of them.
Great, thanks so much. And Laura, did you have anything to add for that one?
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback off of that, it is good to ask your school, and that's the place to start. But we do have numerous charter schools already. Most of them are from California, but we have a couple charter schools from Oregon, Canada, and other states. And if you are interested in your school being a vendor or Outschool being a vendor for your school, start asking your school, what they need and what the process is, and get them in touch with support, and we'd love to have you.
Great, awesome. Yeah, I'm glad that it can be so easy. And then maybe let's walk through, how do these charter fund enrollments work? How do you apply those to the Outschool classes?
Yeah, so there's a few steps here. The first step is finding a class that works for your learner. We have tons of classes on Outschool, so you can hop onto the Find Classes page and search by age, by subject, by length, by date, to find a class that's a good fit for you. Once you find that class, then you can reach out to your charter and request that class and request a PO for it. They'll go ahead and send a PO to us, and then we'll do the enrollment from our end. So all you need to do is communicate with your school. We'll make sure that your learner is enrolled in the class. And if we have any questions, we'll contact your school. Laura, did you have anything to add to that?
No, I think that's pretty much it. We do the enrollment for you, like Marina said. So basically, once you put it in with your school, you're just waiting for a confirmation email from us.
Great. Well, it sounds really simple, but I wanted to ask, are there any classes that charter schools won't cover?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things we run into is there is a class type on Outschool called an ongoing class. And this class runs as a subscription. So we can't accept charter funds for this class because it incurs a weekly charge. So if you're looking at a class, just make sure to take a peek at the class listing. It'll be near the top by the teacher's name. And we don't accept classes that say ongoing there.
Yeah, and there's, every school has their own requirements. Some, it needs to be maybe a core class, where others, it's fine if it's a class of high interest. So it depends on your school. All of our classes are secular, and so I know that's probably like the number one objective for many of the schools, because if they're getting public school funds, the classes have to be secular. And so Outschool is a secular site, and our classes are secular, so we should reach that level that your school is looking for. But each school is different in terms of what they approve, but most of them are pretty good, and you can get almost every class, if not every class, on Outschool.
Yeah, so they might approve something like biology with Minecraft.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Some Dragons Club.
Yeah. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Is there anything else that parents should be doing to ensure that their order goes through smoothly?
Yeah, I think the most important thing for us is having all of the correct information on there. So the biggest thing is that enrollments, even through a purchase order, are going to be connected to a parent email. So making sure that your school has the correct email for you so that you can access your class when the time comes. We also want to make sure that we know what class you want to enroll in. Make sure you use the full name and the date that's going to work for you as well.
We also need some information. We're going to need to know the learner's name and age, so that that's correct for your record for your school when you need some evidence of the classes that you have taken as well. And the biggest thing, as Marina said, is those emails. So if you have created an account on Outschool and you use a different email account with your school, we might have some problems. So just make sure those two match up. And if you don't already have an account on Outschool, when we do the enrollment for you, it will create an account, and basically you'll just have to confirm it. So it might be better in a situation like that to wait for that email to come through to you.
Cool. Makes a lot of sense. So you said they'll know that the enrollment comes through because they get an email, right?
Mm-hmm. They'll receive an email confirmation.
Okay, perfect. Sounds pretty simple. Is there anything else that a parent might need to do to prepare for class once they know that they're enrolled?
Yeah, certain classes have different requirements. So we always recommend taking a peek at the class listing page just to make sure that your learner doesn't need any supplies to be ready for class. There's nothing to bring to the meeting. There's nothing to print out beforehand, no assignments. So definitely take a look and make sure that that your learner is prepared and able to do all of that to be ready.
Okay, sounds great. And then what if a parent comes across a class that doesn't have a section scheduled? What do they do?
Yeah. Oh, go for it, Laura.
That's okay. So the easiest or best thing to do is to contact the teacher first, the Outschool teacher first, to make sure, if they would even be able to offer the class. And a lot of times those teachers are more than willing to create a section if they know they have somebody who's going to enroll in the class. And so if the parent is in contact with them before, they'll create the section and the time that works for the family, and then it'll be a pretty smooth transition. So the best thing to do is to start by asking the teacher.
Okay, that sounds great. Yeah, and teachers are usually pretty communicative to respond and say if they're able to get you something or not. So if you don't, if you want something, then you should hear back from them pretty quickly. And then I think that's all I had, but did either of you want to chime in with any other tips for parents?
There was one thing I thought of when Marina was talking about preparing, excuse me, preparing for class. Um, if you already have a Zoom account and you're logged into it, when you try to get into the Outschool Zoom um, class, you might be told that it's not working because you're logged into the other account. So make sure that you log off any other accounts that you have with Zoom so that it's an easy transition when you go into Outschool, because you have a unique like user ID and stuff that allows you into the class, and that needs to be the one that's shown.
That was a great tip. I hadn't thought of that before. That's great. And then just one more time, because I think that we had a couple of folks who may have joined a little bit late, but maybe we could just go over one more time. How do you know if Outschool is a vendor, and how would you get Outschool to be a vendor if they're not already?
Definitely. So the first step is to ask your school if we're an approved vendor. They usually know, they'll get back to you pretty quick. And if there's any questions about that, you can always reach out to the support team as well. We have a list of schools with whom we're an approved vendor, and we can let you know about that as well. If you would like to be a vendor, or like us to be a vendor rather, sorry, you can definitely reach out to your school and have them get in contact with our support team. And we are happy to set that up for you and look forward to working with your school.
Great, awesome. Thanks so much, Marina, and thanks, Laura. Anything else that we should share before we conclude?
Just if you have any questions or are uncertain about anything, you know, we're here to help you out. So you can contact support@outschool.com and we'll help you with that. And especially if it's working with your school to get started, you know, we're more than willing to help schools get things straightened out so that we can work with them. And we do serve predominantly California because that's where we're located. But you know, we are happy to work with schools anywhere if there is the interest.
Definitely. Cool. Well, we're excited for the fall semester. And before we sign off, we just have one question. It looks like Erin G, you may have missed our comment earlier, and you're asking, will charter schools be able to pay for ongoing classes? Oh, she was teaching, of course. But unfortunately, we'd love to pay for ongoing classes, or we'd love for charter schools to be able to, but due to the subscription format, they won't do it. So just make sure that you're choosing something that's not an ongoing class to start. And we'll let you know if that changes in the future.
One last thing I wanted to note, it can take a little bit of time for your school to process your request. So when you're looking for a class to sign up for, we recommend giving yourself at least a 2-week buffer, just in case it takes some time for the purchase order to get processed. We want to make sure that everything is set and ready to go so your learner can join class on time.
That's a great last piece of advice. Some schools, you can order the class and the next day we get the purchase order and the following day you're enrolled. Others, it is like 2 weeks in between when you order and when we get it. So we make the enrollments within 24 hours of getting the purchase order, but sometimes there is that long wait in between when you actually order it and whatever it has to go through in your school to before it gets to us.
That's a really good point. Good to be patient and good to plan ahead for sure. Okay, great. Well, thank you all so much. And like Laura said before, if you have questions about this process, you can just go ahead and email support@outschool.com. We'll be happy to help you out. And if you missed any of this webinar, because I know that time just flew by and some folks may have arrived a little bit late, the recording will automatically be posted to our Facebook page, and we'll also share it on YouTube and with parents after the fact. So you can catch up on anything you missed. It's really quick, so if you missed anything and just want to watch it again, you should have plenty of time to do that later. Okay, thank you all so much for joining. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Have a great fall semester.